What is up, cool cats and kittens? It's back. It's me. I'm back with another photo to edit. This is a photo from Yosemite National Park taken in 2018, captured in RAW, and we will jump in. Let's do it. As far as composition goes, a lot of composition is just by feel. What I think is cool about the photo, I think the lines going through here in the middle is the strong part of the photo. We have a lot of sky, so if I do anything here, I'm going to be just lessening the sky. So I think dropping the sky down to there, we still get a little bit of sky in here, but it's definitely a lot less, and it allows our eyes to still focus here on the geometry of the rock and the trees, and I think that's the strong part of the photo, so I like that right there. One thing I did want to show from the crop screen specifically is I often will leave this version up here, which is aspect ratios. But by pressing O, I can actually cycle through quite a different set of different overlays to help you get a crop. Just kind of different overlays for you to size your image and see what looks best. So like here we have the X's, which is kind of cool. You can see how my lines are kind of aligning up with this X a little bit. It kind of just helps with your composition. So here's another one, highlights of interest. Once again, I've got different lines intersecting. Actually kind of got this line coming up here. I've got the line of the rocks and this, and we even have the golden spiral, which is pretty cool. These are all just different ways of getting your composition down, and you can kind of see, even though my photo isn't perfect for this, you know, the lines are bringing you up, these lines bring you around, these lines bring you up, and it kind of highlights at a good spot. So there's just different tools for helping people find what composition they like. But I just wanted to go ahead and bring that up. Let's go ahead and get into white balance. Okay, so I think this is definitely a good look. However, it just seems a little warm. So I think I'm going to knock that down. And I think this being kind of moody and granite, which is dark and gray, I think some more cool tones is an aesthetic that I think would work well here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bit more cooler than the auto would do for us. As far as exposure goes, this is a decently exposed photo. As you can see here, we have highlights where we have detail, and we have shadows where we still have detail. So that's good. We definitely do have some pixel loss, some pixel death here in the trees. These black dots I'm not getting back. And then we probably have some blown out in the sky. But that's okay. The area that's the most interesting to look at is this rock piece, this rock face right here, and that's all in focus. That's all well exposed, so if anything, I think I'm going to brighten the exposure just a little bit. Contrast, I think this is a photo where bumping up the contrast a little bit is good. Just when we have all these lines here, bumping up the contrast kind of helps those lines pop out. And when we have all these beautiful little inconsistencies in the granite, and I think that's worth accenting. All right, let's go through our highlights, shadows, whites, and blacks. And once again with these, I'm kind of just going up and down and up and down, seeing which ones I like. When we take the highlights all the way down, we actually get a lot of the sky back, which is good. It's not really impacting the rest of the photo either. So I think I'm probably going to take it down a good bit. I don't think I'm going to take it all the way down. I think something like that is good. Shadows, I think I'm kind of torn here. I can either make the shadows more crisp or I can lighten the overall image. I think lightening the overall image in here is a good look. These trees already are just popping out more and more. whites. I think bringing the brightness up or the whites up in this rock is good. I think it's making this rock look more lively, pop off the page a little bit more. And then blacks, I think I'm probably going to pull the blacks a little bit lighter as well. One thing that I'm kind of seeing now that I'm looking at it is that this photo just looks kind of wonky, as in it's kind of up at an angle. I don't know, this tree coming up here at an angle is making me kind of question if that tree is actually straight up or this tree is leaning. One thing we can do is we can always just come in here to the angle and we can play with it and see what we like, you know? So this is lining up that tree a lot better. Let's look at it. I don't think it was really worth doing, so I'm going to go ahead and undo. And let's just keep going. Clarity, once again, if you forget what clarity is, it's the quote-unquote Instagram filter. Wow. Makes you feel like 2008 again, doesn't it? It basically just adds a lot of contrast and this weird glow around everything. I mean, it does look kind of cool. Like, I'm not denying that. But it just looks a little unreal. But I think a little bit of contrast here is good. Vibrancy and saturation, we can see what a little bit of this will do, but I don't want to make this rock look not like it's silver, because I do like it being silver. So I kind of like what this is doing. When I bump the saturation a ton, I'm getting some blue back here, and I'm getting these greens to really pop, but I think it's turning this rock more orange than gray, and I like the rock being gray. So I might actually do, I might take the saturation down overall, and then go in individually in some of those colors. Keep these colors gray, then add some more colors elsewhere. All right, let's go into the tone curve. Once again, I want to keep the sky, but also keep this cool foggy background as well. So I think somewhere in there is good. Lights, I think I'll probably overall boost the lights. Same with the darks. Actually, I think I'm going to boost the shadows and then decrease make the darks a little bit more punchy. Cool. Skip colors for now. I definitely don't think the focus was perfect on this photo. This isn't really crisp. It is far away, so let me see. Is the tree is in much better focus. It's very, very possible that the autofocus saw the tree and focused on the tree and kind of missed this whole rock face going on. It's not too far off though, but it's at the point where I'm definitely going to add a good bit of sharpening, maybe more than I normally would. I want these lines to really stick out. It's going to make things a little bit grainier, but I think that's okay. Awesome. Playing around with this, I think it does look a little bit better with profile corrections enabled, so we'll leave that there. And then I do think I'm going to make it a little bit of a vignette to kind of keep your eyes coming in from the sides. And then, last but not least, let's see what dehaze can do. Dehaze has slowly become one of my more fun tools to mess with. It's sometimes going negative, which makes it kind of look foggier, is nice, and then sometimes going cooler with it, or going positive with it, gets you these really beautiful, kind of helps pull all of this out. So before we go into color, let's go ahead and see what we've done. Nice. We've brought this out of deep shadow. The light looks a little bit more lively. Looks like we get a little bit more color back in here, and we have a little bit more definition in the clouds, but not too much. Awesome. Oops, sorry y'all. Let's go into color, and then we will go into the adjustment brush. So let's go into green. Just messing with the actual tone of the green. I do kind of like the more warm green instead of the. I'm a real sucker for the deep alpine green. I think it's just beautiful. I don't think it fits here. So I'm gonna add a little bit more yellow into it, and I think I'm definitely gonna boost up the saturation because I really liked that earlier. And then I think want to bolster the luminance, make it brighter. And then I think I'm going to go into yellow, and hopefully this doesn't mess with a rock. Okay, so it's having a little bit of an effect on the rock. So let's leave it as it is and just see what happens when we boost the saturation. Okay. Okay. I gotta sit with this one and see if I like it. I think it's okay. I'm just worried that I'm impacting the color of this rock too much. I think we're okay. Okay. I think that is going to be all the adjustment, all the color adjustment that I do right now. But let's go ahead and jump into our adjustment brush. Just checking all of our settings are the same. Probably need to change the size. Okay. First things first, I want to, what do I want to do? I think I want to add a little bit of blue back here. So let's go ahead and let's do it. All right. My laptop is revving up like a jet engine to handle all the changes that I'm making. But let's go ahead and see what we've been able to do. So I haven't done any settings yet. First thing I want to do is what's going to happen when I mess with dehaze a little bit more. Whoa. It's kind of cool, but definitely too much. What happens if we add some dehaze? Make it kind of foggy behind there. Take some away. Nice. I think that looks kind of cool. Take the exposure down. I think that looks good. Highlights down. Maybe not so much. Boost the whites. I'm just playing around, you know? Cool. So let's add a color. And I think I'm going to go with a blue that's kind of close to this crazy teal blue, but kind of in the middle. And then I want to drop that saturation down a lot. Okay. Let's give it a little bit more. I think I like it on the mountains, but I don't like it on the sky. So, let's fix that. Just a little bit more. Okay. Nice. I think that looks really good. I might drop the saturation just a little bit, maybe back to 25, just to cool it down a little bit. Nice, and I think I might add a little bit of yellow here too. So new adjustment brush, all the settings are back, and let's go ahead and start doing some painting. I think I'm going to try and stick to the light parts. And I don't want to add too much. I really don't. Alright, let's give it a little bit of color. Yeah, I figured it was just going to look silly. Let's bump that down and slowly raise it up until you can see something. So like there it's obvious. Back when we were in the 20s, it was pretty subtle. Nice. And then let's see what else we can mess with. Maybe we can raise the exposure a little bit. And just kind of play around to see if we can get any other kind of look out of this that we might like. And I'm just going through all these to see what can happen. Okay. I don't think I want to mess with too much of this. Okay. And then let's do one more. And let's just grab some of these really dark shadowy parts. Okay, I'm not sure what I'll do with this, but it's worth giving it a little bit of a look. Let's drop the exposure down. Contrast up. And let's just kind of like maybe see if we can find a way to like kind of pull these out a little bit. Just kind of help these like pop, you know? Yeah. And I think I want to, is this our highlights? I think I want to go ahead and give it a little bit of negative dehaze. Okay. And here's our shadows. Nice. Go ahead and finish that up. Yeah, I think the only thing we can potentially play around with here is just muting the sky a little bit. Let's see what we can do. Alright, now that the sky is painted, let's see what happens when we just bring that exposure down. So I brought the highlights down, exposure down, I boosted the whites, and I honestly think I like what I got out of it. Awesome. Let's go ahead and give this a little comparison to the before and after. There we go. Yeah, I'm super pleased with how this came out. We've got the crisp shadows, some nice highlights throughout the clouds, a little bit of a blue back here, and the clouds are a lot more detail going on. Awesome. That's another edit done. And stay tuned for some more episodes. Have a nice day.